Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I'm doing fantastic. Hope you are as well. Yesterday, I did a video on the S.A.S. from the event in Nairobi. This one guy who just went in and dominated, got all these people to, but the video itself was very light on information, shall I say. After that video, I was like, I gotta look and see what else I can find. And I came across this one. S.A.S. operators smoked these Nairobi insurgents. Hopefully it's going to go into a little more detail about why the guy was there. I don't know if I thought he was there on vacation or business or what, but hopefully this will go into a little more detail. This actually was suggested as a better video to watch, so I'm going to go for it and take a look. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Thank you for coming and watching with me, and let's check this out.
Tuesday, January 15th, 2019. A British S.A.S. operator on a mission to train local Kenyan defense forces quickly found himself in the middle of a 2-day siege at the luxury Duset D2 complex in Nairobi. The 5 gunmen unleashed fury as hundreds of innocent civilians ran for their lives. But not before the solo operator grabbed his weapon and his kit and stormed in, self-initiating an off-duty rescue mission. And after a 19-hour game of cat and mouse, the lone operator saved hundreds of lives and took the lives of the enemy. In 2019 alone, there were over 6 terrorist attacks in Kenya, and over the last several decades, terrorism in Kenya has run rampant throughout, from the 1975 Nairobi bombing to the 2013 Westgate Mall incident. And since its creation in 1895, East Africa has been at the nexus of several political disputes that revolve around the political conflicts of the Middle East, as Kenya has remained an ally of Western governments and is host to several sensitive Western interests, including US and British military bases. And with poverty, weak borders, corrupt or incompetent police, and the rapid rise of extremist groups, Kenya and other African nations have quickly become hotbeds and easy targets for global terrorists. And the Kenyan army has yet to contain the influx of terrorism moving in from Somalia. And sadly, too many Kenyan soldiers have died trying. At the forefront of Kenya's counterterrorism efforts are the Kenyan Defense Forces' well-armed and well-trained Special Operations Forces. The Kenyan Special Operations Regiment, the 30th Special Forces Battalion, and the 40th Ranger Strike Force, who have all received their training from both U.S. and British Military Special Operations Command, such as the U.S. Army's highly capable Green Berets and the United Kingdom's ultra-secretive Special Air Service. And in January of 2019, an S.A.S. team was sent out to do just that. Amongst the S.A.S. team was a team member by the name of Christian Craighead, a seasoned operator who first joined the British Army at 16 years old in 1992. He began his career as a junior paratrooper before coming of age and moving onward to the paratrooper regiment, which for comparison to the United States, a British paratrooper is the same thing as an Army Ranger. After serving 3 years as a paratrooper, Craighead then joined the Pathfinders, which again, for U.S. comparison, it's like MARSOC. He deployed with the Pathfinders to Iraq during the 2003 invasion of Iraq, where he led reconnaissance missions. And around 9 years later, he attended and completed the S.A.S's notorious 6-month-long selection program and joined the S.A.S regiment. And in true S.A.S fashion, the rest of his history is lost and remains untold, as the ethics of the Special Air Service are true to form of the phrase, the quiet professionals. But the S.A.S's legendary exploits over the years have often superseded their efforts of secrecy.
The end came with an assault on the building by the Army's Special Air Services Regiment, the S.A.S.
And at the tip of their spear lies the 22nd S.A.S Regiment, the Special Air Service's Tier 1 unit, of which Craighead belonged. And when his seemingly peaceful training mission in Kenya took an unpredictable turn, Craighead delivered the gunman an unpredictable turn of his own. And on the afternoon of January 19th, at approximately 3 p.m., at the 5-star Duset D2 hotel complex, as guests were having lunch and shopping around, 5 Kenyan nationals of non-Somali descent were moments away from executing a calculated attack. The terrorist cell had traveled to the complex from their home base located in Somalia. Armed with AK-47s, hand grenades, and an IED, the men staged outside of the complex. The 14 Riverside complex in its entirety is one of East Africa's largest and more upscale developments, consisting of banks, restaurants, executive offices, and the hotel itself. A stage with stark contrast to the barbaric attack that was soon to unfold. At approximately 3:30 p.m., one of the insurgents breaks off on his own and enters the complex, where he locates and fronts the outdoor patio of the lively lunchtime rush of the Secret Garden restaurant, shouting aloud in Swahili before committing to the first phase of the attack and blowing himself up.
Oh my God.
Once the explosion was heard, the 4 men began their assault, where they engaged 2 Kenyan police officers guarding the gate. The men then threw hand grenades at 3 unattended parked cars, setting phase 2 of the attack into motion. 2 explosions to create panic and confusion. The 4 men then entered the complex and split up into 2 groups as they made their way to the first office block and began shooting and throwing grenades inside. And at this point, everyone is trying to escape and call for help by any means necessary.
Oh, man.
Members of private security forces and armed individuals, along with some off-duty police officers, were some of the first to respond, at which time an unknown person present at the complex picked up his phone and called his friend, Christian Craighead. He answered the phone and could hear the sound of gunfire coming from the background. The man requested for Craighead's assistance at the complex. He grabbed his gear and jumped in his truck, dodging in and out of traffic and arriving on scene only moments later. He had little to no intel on what was specifically taking place, but the sound of automatic gunfire was evident. Wearing a balaclava, body armor, and freaking Armani jeans. This dude's 007. And he's also got a Black Rifle Coffee Black Beer patch. Craighead armed himself with a Glock 17, a combat knife, and a suppressed Mako C8 carbine rifle. And without orders, relying only on his elite training and battle-proven instincts, the S.A.S. operator went rogue and mobilized himself. And just like that, Obi-Wan Nairobi was born. Craighead could be seen escorting dozens of civilians out of the complex, and even carrying out the wounded. And with each pull, he turned around and went right back in and did it again. The locals were in awe of a masked foreigner who appeared to be single-handedly taking control of the situation wherever he could. It wasn't long until reinforcements showed up. As police and other Kenyan forces responded to the scene, Kenyan soldiers and police established a perimeter around the complex. Craig had embedded with a group of the soldiers and moved through the complex to continue rescuing employees and guests who were still pinned down within. And footage from the event even shows him leaving those forces behind and taking matters into his own hands to directly engage the enemy. And while clearing buildings and sweeping the courtyards, Craig had located the terrorists and swiftly engaged the enemy, single-handedly killing 2 of them. Gunfire altogether had ceased, and authorities and Craighead alike began to clear the rest of the complex, as the actual number of attackers was unknown at this time. He assisted with coordinating logistics with local Kenyan authorities, went room to room searching for remaining attackers, and provided remaining civilians with a safe escort to the outside perimeter of the complex. While it had been thought that the threat had been neutralized, after a few hours, gunfire and explosions were again heard in the early hours on January 16th. As Kenyan police located the remaining 2 gunmen in a hotel room, and after engaging the men, the Kenyan police apprehended the wounded suspects. And by 11:48 p.m., the Kenyan government announced that the 14 Riverside complex had officially been secured. "20 Kenyan citizens, an American and a British South African man, died during the attack." The terror group Al-Shabaab issued a statement claiming the attack was coordinated with the assistance of Al-Qaeda as retaliation for the relocation of the U.S. Embassy in Israel. Christian Craighead was awarded a conspicuous gallantry cross for ending the 19-hour siege, which is the second highest honor in the United Kingdom. His heroic actions saved hundreds of lives, and he retired from the S.A.S. in 2020. He wrote a book about the event titled One Man In that is currently pending approval from the Ministry of Defense. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. They did add a bunch of more information, some background of what was happening and stuff. So yeah, it was. That dude was amazing. So he was there training Kenyans, and this thing just happened. He got a call, and he just grabbed his stuff and took over. It's just amazing. Yeah, very, very cool that this guy can just go in and take over. The S.A.S. is no joke. No joke. Support this channel. It's pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed this. I did. And I'm going to look into more. There's a bunch of more documentaries of the S.A.S. and it's interesting stuff. So I'll probably be checking out more. Thank you again for coming along and watching. Thank you again for your support. Like I've always said, you guys are amazing. So I hope you're going to have just a wonderful, wonderful day, and hope to see you soon. Hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. Yeah.